How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lone Wolf, and today I just wanted to show you like all about this radar trailer. That's what I call it. It's called like a prototype exploration unit or something, but yeah, radar trailer. I just want to show you what it is, what you can do with it, little tips to use it and stuff. It's kind of like a mobile watchtower in a nutshell. But yeah, just to get you up to scratch on what it does really, because the game doesn't necessarily explain it too well itself, or not where I've read. First things first, you need a scout, like it's a scout trailer, so you ain't going to be getting it with any trucks. And I know I love my loaf, and I'm always in dolphin and loaf, but on this occasion I actually have good reason, because, yeah, you need a scout, and I was trying to think, obviously the TUZ Tatran 420 thing, that's out because you can't have any trailers on it. So, and out of all the other scouts, like obviously I definitely prefer my loaf, but the Lodestar is a brilliant scout, and I definitely recommend getting one regardless. That can obviously have scout trailers, so that'd be pretty decent on its own, I reckon. But it ain't gonna beat the Dolphin for like the heavy off-roading and all stuff like that. So personally, again, I know this is what I do regardless. This is what I would be doing regardless, but I genuinely think this is actually worth doing. Funny enough, someone said the other day, and I said it to myself as well before, and then when they mentioned it, confirmed it, that the handbrake seems to be weaker on the Dolphin at the minute. I left this in unedited. There was a tiny glitch a second ago, but it literally was about a second, if that. Yeah, I left it that in unedited to show you. I was about 34 seconds, and I loaded the loaf in, and it's definitely going to save me a hell of a lot more than 34 seconds. And yeah, like I say, the Tatran, well, the Tatran's pretty slow anyway. The Dolphin's a lot quicker than the Tatran, so all in all, I'd still kind of catch myself up. So anyway, yeah, I'm on Lake Kovd, or Kovd, however you pronounce it. I'm just going to the bottom corner, the way I've got my map with the water at the bottom. It's bottom left of the map. And yeah, I've already explored pretty much all this map. I did it the other day, but I just didn't quite go all the way to the edge, but I kind of knew that'll do for now. But then yeah, tonight I've been messing around, doing a couple of testing all sorts of different things, having a play around with the GMC thing. Now it's got all-wheel drive. I'm going to do a review on that tomorrow. I'm going to either do the GMC or the Voron D, and I'll see, and whichever one I don't do, I'll probably do at the weekend. Yeah, and I wanted to take this trailer around, get some nice sort of clean footage. What I'm doing now, you're going to see a bit of gameplay. But essentially, this trailer, as the name suggests, a prototype exploration unit, it's basically a watchtower that's mobile, and wherever you are, when you activate the trailer, it scans an area around you that's got a radius of 350 metres, so the whole circle itself is going to have a diameter of 700 metres. And that's basically what it does. Wherever you stop and do it, like obviously when you look on the maps, you can uncover the map. Some parts of the map are just purely pitch black and you don't know what's there. Other parts of the map are kind of like revealed but shaded, so if there was, say, a vehicle there, you wouldn't see the vehicle necessarily until you've unearthed it. Or, you know, just different bits and bobs. So, yeah, you don't have to necessarily go to every little corner and through all the deep snow. It kind of, maybe thinking about it, this is why they made going off-road in some bits on this map. Like, maybe this is why they've dialed the snow up so much, and it really does slow you down if you go off-road in certain bits. It's probably kind of to force you, or for it to make more sense to just use this trailer, because then that way, yeah, you don't necessarily have to go off-roading just to explore the rest of the map. You can get close enough with this trailer. And 350 metres, this is a pretty decent sized map. But 350 metres is a pretty decent sized circle that it unearths on the map. And yeah, it's pretty damn decent. Like, it wouldn't be that bad if it was more like 200 metres. It definitely wouldn't be as useful. But yeah, 350 is pretty nice and generous. And as you can see, when I've got the loaf in there, loaf's no trouble. Basically, a couple of reasons why I would travel like this is the Dolphin is definitely just better. It's one of the best vehicles in the game without a doubt. It's a bit of a beast when it's off-roading. Once you can get it up into high gear, it muscles through a hell of a lot of stuff. It's very good for not rolling. The only thing I'd say with it is it's not amazing on fuel, but that's why I've got a roof rack on the loaf. Like, I knew tonight I'm not going to be going... I wasn't planning on doing a whole lap of this map or anything, so I knew I was just going to head here, use the radar trailer, and then head back home. I didn't even use the roof rack in the end, but like I say, even though the Dolphin's got a pretty small fuel tank, because it's quick, it uses that fuel reasonably well, really. Like, it makes a lot of use of 15 litres a minute. It goes pretty far in a minute. This is where, as a pretty good example, I could have cut through there, but this is what I would normally do on all other maps. Is like, I've seen it and I was like, oh, I can't even be bothered turning in there, I'll just cut across here. And then, as you can see, the snow on this map, for some reason, not in all areas, but it's just like they've dialed up the resistance stats of it or something, so it really does slow you down. Like, that is ridiculously slow for a Dolphin. A lot of stuff would get stuck there where you'd be... if you're just watching this and you've not tried the snow on this map, you'd be thinking, oh yeah, I could get, you know, X, Y and Z through there pretty easily. Yeah, the snow on this game, a lot of it isn't on the same level as other maps, so... but the Dolphin does bloody well considering. And yeah, I don't think the Lodestar would be going as smoothly up here if it was towing this trailer. The trailer's definitely got a good bit of weight to it. And the only thing I don't really like about the trailer is you see like that flat plate that goes around the front of the trailer. It's a pain in the arse for getting hooked on stuff. It's almost like it's a tiny bit wider than it actually is. And if you just clip like even the corner on anything, it just sort of hooks in rather than brushing off. So yeah, personally, if I could, I would get rid of that metal plate at the front. But other than that, it's like, it's a pretty decent trailer. It doesn't try and roll every 2 minutes and try and flip you or anything. Not really anyway. Obviously any trailer can theoretically do that given the right situation. Just to let you know as well, this the radar trailer has fuel on it, and it's got 120 litres, and every time you use the radar you use 20 litres, so you get 6 goes of it before you need fuel. So another reason I had the roof rack, even though I knew I probably wouldn't use it here. So anyway, it's pretty cool that there's a helicopter there. There I am, obviously I'm here and I'm at the edge of the map. I'm going to draw a line now, because this is a tip for the trailer if you want to know if you've gone far enough. It has a 350 metre radius. I just click that there and it's 222 metres away, so I know I'm well, like, beyond fine. Because when I got here next to the helicopter, I didn't even know this was here. And I could drive up the bank around and blah blah blah, but you can generally see, like, the helicopter's blocking the path. But yeah, just check on the map, like, you can draw a dot away from yourself and you'll roughly get used to how far away 350 metres is. But just click a dot there and you'll know, am I above or below? Like, that's where your radar trailer is going to reach, which I'll show you a bit later. That was using it. I love, like, the snow falling. I love snow, to be honest. Like, if I go on holiday, I'd rather go and see the Northern Lights than, say, go to, like, Spain. I don't do well in hot weather. But yeah, as you can see there anyway, the corner of the map is now all uncovered, right up to the edge. And then that's it. I can move on to the next area. Like I say, it's a bit like a mobile watchtower, and wherever it is, when you activate it, it kind of does the same as a watchtower does, and unearths a big circle around you. Some watchtowers obviously do a massive circle that must be like more like 500-600 meters across, or like radius, not diameter. But yeah, 350 meters, 700 meter diameter circle is pretty damn big, especially on smaller maps like Zimnegorsk. You could damn near put this thing in the middle of Zimnegorsk and unearth a fat chunk of the map. As you can see there, reversing, the reason it won't go anywhere, it does wedge in a bit, but I've pulled the winch on the loaf up against the sideboard, and there's just literally not enough winch length for the loaf to fall out now. Well, unless this happens, because this was a pretty good example of, like, what can happen. Because I was in high there, I couldn't power out of it, it just started saying stalling. And yeah, Dolphin fell over, quit on the job. That's why you get yourself a loaf. I was genuinely just driving back to the garage anyway, so having a look at my loaf. I really don't like recovering a loaf. It's very, very, like, obviously I've recovered a loaf loads of times when I've done what I'm doing for the night and I recover it, but when it's forced upon me like this, I'm not happy about it. I wanted to try this regardless. I didn't fall on purpose. It was an accident, but I wanted to know earlier if when the trailer rotates, will it flip the trailer or will it just wedge into the ground, which is what it did. So at this point, you'd normally have to recover because I can't start the engine. But like I said, the loaf don't go down without a fight. Looking around like engine stall day. That's what you think. Obviously this trailer isn't loaf trained. It's about to be. So yeah, to be honest, I partly left this in because it's another concept, another idea that you might be able to get away with. If you was on the other side of the map and you had one more little bit to scan, it'd be a bit of a piss take if you had to recover the loaf all the way back and blah blah blah. But like I said, loaf's professional, gets the job done. Drove myself back there, loaf approved, and we're off to the next map. So now I'm on Black River, and again, like, I just think that this combination is the best. I can't really think of a better one. Like, again, as brilliant, the Lodestar is great. It's my second favourite scout vehicle, easily as well. The Tatran is possibly third. I like the Tatran, to be fair. It is definitely third, but because it can't have any trailers or anything, it's like quite purely just a scout vehicle, and I've already scouted everything. I had to double check at this point. You definitely can't have that radar trailer. The other thing as well, look, I'm in first gear. I set off, I'm in fourth. I know I'm tapping L1, but I went from first to fourth in less than half a TUZ length, and it's like they need to spread out the gears on this special, advanced special or whatever. Like, it doesn't have to be rapid, but if I can go from first to fourth, it's like 2/3 of the gearbox is pointless most of the time. And if you ever did need second and third, you've got 3 low range options. So yeah, they just need to spread them gears out and give it like at least 50% more speed, because especially that you can't even have a trailer and stuff. It's very good for winching other things. You can pull something that's got a trailer that's a bit gutless. Anyway, you can see there, I drew a dot and I'm too far away from the corner. I drew that dot that's about 350 meters, so I knew that's how far the trailer would explore. And as you can see, I just did the trailer, and there's my dot, pretty much where I guessed like the trailer would do. And yeah, that's now that's that bit of the map explored. I moved more around the lake because I wanted to get the rest. I just left that bin. Pretty nice view. It was almost a thumbnail. It was a tough one, but I certainly liked it. But I wasn't sure how well it'd show up on a little YouTube thumbnail. But yeah, this is essentially what you can do. I've explored most of every map anyway, but there is still definitely loads of little sections that, to be honest, I think just about every map I've got at least unearthed where I can see all 4 corners, but there's a lot of shaded areas I've still got left on maps, which, like, this is a prime example. I've never bothered driving around this lake because I never needed to, really. I knew it was shaded area, but I knew there was nothing else there. There's no upgrades or anything, so I didn't need to bother. However, the OCD part of me really does like to clear every map and have every little shadow just gone. I did it on Rift, funnily enough, drove every little bit of the map just to make sure all the shadows were gone. I mean, I think this is the thumbnail winner in the end. It's nice. But yeah, there you go. Fly around, scan your surroundings, and you're off. It takes about 22 seconds-ish to do the animation of the trailer. And like I say, you can see the fuel tank there just on the side of it, sort of the fuel sloshing around. This is what I found out. When I got back here, I was able to sell the trailer, but then it says now there's not enough room, and again it's like, we'll see. We'll see, game, you haven't met yourself a loaf yet, obviously. Yeah, now I can get a trailer again, so you don't even have to get the trailer first. The only reason I did earlier was I was on that Lake Kovd, and there's not a trailer store at your garage, you got to go like down the road, so... but yeah, normally, say for example if you wanted to travel to the other side of a map, I could just put the loaf, and say there was a trailer store, sorry, on the other side of the map. I wouldn't have to bring the trailer necessarily from here. I could go to the other side of the map. As you can see, put the winch on. If you reverse a bit, it scoots the loaf forward if it isn't already. It's preferable to have the loaf pressed up against the sideboard, because it then keeps the winch length so short. You just can't fall out, like, the winch would have to go longer for you to unhook your nose off the front of the sideboard, and it just can't do it. Yeah, you can see there, I'm now on Zimnegorsk, scanned that. I bought the trailer, sold the trailer. And obviously the other, potentially, like another sort of tip I suppose with the trailer, it's got 120 litres of fuel. If you were towing it somewhere and you're running low on fuel, you could pinch the fuel out of the trailer. You might have to obviously then head to a a fuel station, but that 120 litres might help you get there. So that's just worth, I suppose, remembering in a tough situation. Yeah, again, scan this map. Well, now I'm on to Quarry, and as you can see, I went through the gates. It's still doing that thing where it glitches the loaf, or it glitches everything through things when you go through the gateway. But while I was there, I used the radar trailer, scanned all that corner of Quarry, which again was not fully pitch black, but it was like still in the shadows. It's like there's like a layer of fog. Also, I remember Age of Empires. Can't remember what did you used to type in. I can't remember. Fog, probably, to remove the fog. Yeah, I had a little go while I was heading this way, going up this third Quarry hill. I chanced it. I fancied my chances in high range. It got most of the way, but obviously a dolphin flies up there on its own in high range. That's the rock cliff thing, by the way, that I winched the loaf with the other loaf up in the loaf review, because it's a goddamn horse of a vehicle. Drove a bit further up. That was a before and after. I tried to just edit it so you can see, and you see how much of the map just became lit up. And yeah, off to the next bit. And in a way, it's kind of like, at some point, I would like to start a new game of this, because, yeah, now you've got stuff like this, it'd be pretty fun going around, like, completely blanked out maps. And using this with stuff like Pedro Bay, you could take one of these there, the first time you ever get there, and unearth, like, yeah, you don't necessarily have to, like, you're trying to feel your way in the dark to the nearest watchtower or the first watchtower to get yourself a bit of a footing on the map. You can just turn up at the entrance, I suppose drive forward a bit if there's a road. You may as well not waste the other half of the circle, but yeah, draw a big fat circle wherever you are, anytime you need anything unearthing. And yeah, well, this was just to show you as well, you don't have to put the loaf in the sideboard. I just like doing it anyway, to be honest, but there's no problem winching it behind. I suppose the reason, if you could, why I'd prefer to put the loaf in the sideboard is then you'll not take any damage on the loaf, like its suspension or anything like that, even if you're flying along and you hit some pretty bad bumps. The other reason is the trailer. It's not a bad trailer to tow or anything like that, but it's theoretically more of an anchor now than it is when it was just dangling out the back of the sideboard and it only had the two rear wheels. Then I was carrying it, like dragging it along more like a trolley sort of thing. So yeah, that's what I'd do if I could, but obviously when you go through the gateways, you're going to glitch through anyway. As you can see, I can't actually read how far the distance is there because it shrinks my screen, but I checked it with the little waypoints and it was less than 350 meters, so I knew I was fine. Look at this. It's like, what the hell? Like, there's nothing there, or there's like some little twig on the floor. But they need to calm down the damage stats on this game, because since about Rift or something, you hit nothing and it tries to explode the thing. And yeah, one last little go on White Valley. I just shown you, like, I had some shaded areas around this lake, which is kind of near where you get an upgrade from there. Okay, it might be the Westline engine or something, but I could be wrong on that. But I've also got a lot of, like, the sea area kind of still shaded in as well. And yeah, one last animation of the trailer. I think the trailer's like, it's cool for no apparent reason. They didn't need to make it do all that crazy stuff and whip a radar out. So I unshadowed the lake, and you can see there, I drew a dot, and I know that one is 349 meters, I believe. So yeah, a 350 meter radius. Again though, reversing, as much as the trailer's twisting round, and it's theoretically, if I detach the winch now, it'd possibly pull the loaf. It'd struggle to get it out the trailer, but it probably could tip the loaf sideways in the trailer. But yeah, because that winch is nice and taut, it can't do anything. And I can travel. I've basically got a Dolphin with the radar trailer, and I've got a backup loaf with some repairs, and yeah, good to go. I mean, again, if the Loadstar's your thing, stick the Loadstar on, stick the radar trailer on the Loadstar, and just winch the Loadstar behind you. I don't think the Loadstar fits very well in the sideboard, especially with the dual rears and stuff. But yeah, just winch it behind you. I just think having a nice, powerful truck when you're going through some of the heavy off-roading is preferable. But that's about it. As you can see, got back to the garage just fine, recovered the Dolphin, recovered Bruce. Now I'm in the loaf. I had to fight the urge to just go drive. Like, look, that was literally like just not even thinking, just instinct to start driving the loaf again. But I was like, oh yeah, I'm making a video. Anyway, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon. Barrel's just its pants.